Hey friends, this is Derrick Broze, Conscious Resistance Network, and today we're going to talk about 5G. But first, of course, I want you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com because you cannot rely on Facebook, we're no longer there. You cannot rely on Twitter, I'm no longer there. And you can't even rely on YouTube, although we still are there, to get all of our latest content. You need to visit our website. Try visiting once a week, maybe twice a week if you will, or sign up for our email newsletter and you will get weekly updates. Typically every weekend. I've been slacking since I've been on the road. I'm still on the road. I'm in Costa Rica now for another week and a half. Once I get back home, things should be back to a normal pace, but make sure to get signed up so you don't miss anything. All right, let's jump right into it. So today we're talking 5G and we're talking about Donald Trump. Two of my least favorite topics, but today they are intersecting for some news. This is just 2 nights ago, February 21st. I want 5G and even 6G technology in the United States as soon as possible. This is coming from the real Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America. It is far more powerful, faster, and smarter than the current standard. American companies must step up their efforts or get left behind. There is no reason we should be lagging behind. And he continues in another tweet, basically just saying we shouldn't be lagging behind in infrastructure. And this is, of course, if you've been paying attention to our channel, you know this is part of the ongoing race, the new Cold War, the race to 5G, which is being promoted, of course, by the big telecom, big wireless industry as a way to encourage governments around the world, their partners in government, because, of course, corporations and government work hand in hand to fleece the people. Their partners in government to remove all regulations, and typically, you know, I'm still not calling for regulations, but I am going to call it out whenever the big wireless, big tech industry is working straight up with the federal government, in this case, the United States federal government, to remove all local power and state power, municipality power, and say in how the 5G, fifth generation cellular technology rolls out. And of course, if you're brand new to this topic and this is your first video, I want to recommend go to our website, search 5G, or just go to our YouTube channel and check out our 5G playlist to learn more about the health and security and privacy concerns related to 5G and basically just the ongoing corporatization, monopolization of the technology that's really going to underpin most of the future that we're looking towards. You know, the Internet of Things, the smart grid, 5G. So, I mean, 6G is not even a thing yet. We don't even have 5G yet. I mean, it's just starting to be put in place. But Trump, who really doesn't understand technology, it's clear, says even 6G. And you can even see there's some people responding back, 6G is still a decade away. This tweet shows a clear lack of understanding, tech understanding. And this is by Brian Krasenstein, who is, as he says, an outspoken critic of Donald Trump and editor at Hill Reporter. So he's an independent journalist, and you know, I'm not endorsing him by any means, but people are just calling out Trump for this ridiculous view. But so I just want to put this out there, though, because for those who support Trump and may think that he cares about you, but you also recognize the problems with 5G, well, here you go. Here's further evidence that Donald Trump is a businessman, and he's working with the big wireless companies that continue to deny that there are any health concerns, continue to deny that there are any privacy concerns. Again, if you've watched our channel, you know that back in October 2018, I questioned the CEO of Verizon as well as the mayor of Houston, and neither of those men admitted to any health or privacy concerns. They claimed they'd never heard of such things. But if we go back here just a little bit further, actually back around that time, October 2018, Trump signs order to set U.S. spectrum strategy as 5G race looms. Donald Trump on Thursday signed a presidential memorandum directing the Commerce Department to develop a long-term comprehensive national spectrum strategy to prepare for the introduction of next-generation, fifth-generation wireless networks. Trump is creating a White House Spectrum Strategy Task Force and wants federal agencies to report on government spectrum needs and review how spectrum can be shared with private sector users. The memorandum requires a series of reports over the next 9 months and looking at ways and existing efforts on increasing spectrum. The long-term strategy is due by July. So, the White House also said at the time they were withdrawing presidential memos signed by Barack Obama in 2012 and 2013, and AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile are working to acquire the spectrum and begin developing and testing 5G networks. They're already doing so. This was at October when they were first starting to announce it. And of course, the Wireless Industry Trade Group, the CTIA, otherwise known as the Cellular Telephone Internet Association, praised the administration for, quote, recognizing the importance of establishing a national spectrum strategy. With the right approach based on licensed wireless spectrum, America's wireless carriers will invest hundreds of billions of dollars and create millions of jobs. It's all about jobs, it's all about money. But what they don't tell you is that the CTIA is basically the big wireless lobby representing those same companies, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. And in my hometown of Houston, the CTIA actually awarded Mayor Sylvester Turner the 5G Wireless Champion Award for his role in basically rolling out 5G in Houston. So the CTIA is the one who initiated what they call the race to 5G. And as I said, the companies, the corporations, and the governments are falling right in step with this and promoting it. They're pushing forward. They are ignoring all health questions. Again, if you don't know about the health questions, go to our YouTube channel, look up our interview with Theodoro Scarato of the Environmental Health Trust. It's 45 minutes long, gives you lots of data. If you don't know about the security and privacy concerns, listen to our interview with one of the lawyers of the American Civil Liberties Union talking about 5G being a wolf in sheep's clothing. And you can learn more about that, right? So again, Donald Trump making it clear he's embracing fifth generation cell phone technology because it's going to bring American jobs, supposedly, because it's a part of the new Cold War. You may have also heard from us that there is another policy that Donald Trump has put forth, and this is telling all of American businesses that they can no longer use Huawei, the Chinese company that is the biggest Chinese company that is working on their own 5G infrastructure. So you have American companies and Chinese companies building infrastructure for 5G, these new small cells. And the American government admits that Huawei's technology could potentially be used to spy on or monitor American infrastructure. And that's because the whole smart grid is going to be a spy grid, a surveillance grid. So the Americans want to make sure that companies are using their spy grid. So now you have certain nations falling behind the US and US companies in Western nations, and other companies are embracing Huawei and Chinese companies. And Huawei and the Chinese are denying that they are going to spy on anybody. But the truth of the matter is that both of these tyrannical governments want to spy on everybody, and that's just the fact of the matter. So this is what we're dealing with now. These countries and their corporations that are partners with them are racing towards 5G and the Internet of Things and the smart grid without answering any questions regarding surveillance, privacy, or health, and it's not going to end up good for the people. The truth of the matter is that 5G and the Internet of Things, the end goal is to have the social credit score. China's already got it. The US is next. Most Western nations that accept 5G and the Internet of Things will have it shortly after. Yes, they're selling it to you as it's going to bring on your robot assistants and your driverless cars and virtual reality and augmented reality. At the end of the day, it's about social credit scores and more control over the people. And to add more evidence to why you should question this rollout, the National Resource Defense Council, which you can learn all about here on their website. Let me just show you that real quick. It says, the National Resource Defense Council works to safeguard the earth, its people, its plants and animals, and the natural systems on which all life depends. They just put this out a couple weeks ago, 5G and the FCC, 10 reasons why you should care. And they go through many of the details that I just covered, how the FCC has been bought off, and how the switch from 4G to 5G is not the same as 2G to 3G or 3G to 4G. I see some of these commenters come on the channel and say, oh, they said the same thing about cell phones. They said the same thing about 2G, 3G, 4G. I don't know if people were saying these things, but we do now know that the National Toxicology Program, the World Health Organization, has shown that 2G, 3G cell phones do lead to tumors and can lead to cancer. So maybe we should be listening. But my point with that statement is that the switch from 4G to 5G is a completely new paradigm shift. It's not just, from one to the next. So it's important to know that. And I would ask you guys to read these 10 points here to understand. Again, the FCC eliminated environmental and historical review. So you can't even get environmental and historical studies on this. They also took away local power. They took away indigenous tribes that are supposed to be somewhat sovereign. They took away their ability to charge what they want and to control the rollout. They took away the city's ability to do the same back in September. And they refused to update their own health and environmental standards. They claim that this is all safe and that everything's fine. But as we've shown here time and time again, this is not the case. So please look at this 10 reasons. follow the links. Follow the links on our website. Look at the sources that I'm listing below this video, and recognize that Donald Trump is not a hero, and that he doesn't care about you, and that he doesn't care about the people, and that 5G is not just some shift, from smartphones to super smartphones. It's going to be a complete paradigm shift. The last bits of privacy that we have will be taken away, and people will probably get sick in various forms. Not just concerns about cancer, but lack of sleep, stress, various health issues. Again, do the research. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research and see what conclusions you come up with. Until next time, guys, please share this data with people who you think might be concerned. Share it with your family and friends. You can download these videos. You can rip them. You can use them however you want to. Just get the information out of there. I'll talk to you guys next time. Remember, you are powerful, you're beautiful, and you're free. Peace.